Welcome back to my channel. We are going to do some investigating today, so we got to play Sherlock Holmes Elementary, my dear Watson. What we're going to get to the bottom of is the hype around PulseX. And the real question is it hype, or does this really have the chance to do a 100x? And we can take it a step further. A lot of people are saying that this is going to be a 1000x project. That's what we're gonna get to the bottom of today. So stick around and let's see what direction this project should really be headed in. Okay, now if we're gonna talk about PulseX, we gotta start off with PulseChain. This would be a fork of Ethereum with faster transaction speeds and lower fees. So if you've used Ethereum and you've gotten hit over the head with those expensive gas fees, that right off the top should be something that you're excited about. Something that's really unique, all Ethereum smart contracts, tokens, and dApps will work on PulseChain. In terms of the PulseChain token, it is PLS. Take Ethereum's throughput, we're gonna multiply it by 4, we're gonna give it 3-second block times instead of the 12 to 14 seconds that you currently get with Ethereum, and we have PulseChain. Now, before you get all riled up, PulseChain is not an Ethereum killer. It is going to be compatible with Ethereum and work to support Ethereum. So the reason I think that's a good thing is because I've said it on this channel many times, I do not believe there is an Ethereum killer. I believe Ethereum will be around, certainly with the coming upgrades that they should be making this year. When you take a look at PulseChain's website, it states the second version of the testnet is currently live. Now that we got PulseChain out of the way, and as I just mentioned, the testnet is live, so no, it has not launched. Now we can get on to PulseX. Now with PulseX, I want you to go ahead and think about Ethereum the same way that it was forked to create PulseChain. Uniswap, which is on Ethereum, will be forked to create PulseX. So what is PulseX? PulseX is a DEX, a decentralized exchange. So whether it's Uniswap, SundaySwap, MinSwap, PulseX is in that same category. The token for PulseX will be PLSX. People are going to receive an airdrop based on their sacrifice. Not that type of sacrifice. The sacrifice phase meant you could sacrifice all kinds of different tokens to receive sacrifice points. The amount of sacrifice points you would receive would be a 1-to-1 ratio to the amount of Pulse tokens you will receive when the PulseChain network goes online. The PulseChain sacrifice phase lasted for 19 days, and that began on July the 15th of 2021, and it ended on August the 3rd of 2021. Now let's quickly touch on the project's founder. If we do a simple Google search for Richard Hart, now it would suggest that he's a YouTuber. Not only is he the founder of PulseChain and PulseX, he also is the founder of Hex. Now, Hex is a project that has had a lot of mention throughout the years, a lot of buzz, and even controversy about it. It goes much further than that. I also want to be very clear that I do not hold Hex in my portfolio, neither did I participate in the sacrifice phase for PulseChain or PulseX. So I have no skin in the game, just simply bringing you this information for today's video. Now let's get to the nitty-gritty of PulseX, and is it going to 100x? Or even further, as some people have suggested, will it 1000x? PulseChain reached around $500 million in sacrifices, and nearly 4 months later, PulseX reached around $1 billion in sacrifices. There's no denying the hype around PulseChain and PulseX at this point. So here's a few things that PulseX certainly has going for itself. First of all, PulseX will be a DEX. We've seen what's happened with other decentralized exchanges and the success they've had and the activity that they can bring to a blockchain. Now you take that and combine it with the compatibility with Ethereum and faster, cheaper transaction fees. If they can deliver, it will be worth its weight in gold. Now that remains to be seen, but just imagine the possibilities. Next, when it comes to social media, that's always important because of the community aspect. And let's face it, certainly for projects that haven't even launched yet, community is basically everything. Crypto is, for the most part, word of mouth. So when you look at Hex, it has a strong following on social media. Also, PulseChain, to not have launched, has a strong following as well. And PulseX, on top of that, does also. So that's something that certainly is off to the right start. I actually heard that the trading fees from the DEX, the PulseX DEX that is, will be used to buy up the tokens, the PLSX tokens, and to burn them. So a lot of people are going to like that. A lot of people are really into burn mechanisms and certain ways that are structured to burn tokens. Obviously, if you burn tokens, it takes the supply down. Basic supply and demand, that helps the price go up. Furthermore, I just want to circle back around to that sacrifice. That is the biggest telltale sign. I did hear that the starting market cap would be 0. I'm not 100% sure about that, but let's take it at face value. If that is the case, well, obviously, the lower the market cap, the higher the opportunity. So if that is the case, certainly for those who did do the sacrifice round and are getting those tokens and will be in from the get, that certainly could indicate major upside for those individuals. Now, as far as those who come later, that's what the question is. I want to get to a couple of those things that could be a challenge for the project, and then we'll wrap it up. Because of the way that some feel about Hex, now certainly it has a lot of supporters, but it also has some naysayers. They have been pretty ferocious as far as trying to spread the word about Hex, saying that they think it's a scam, this and that. I do think those individuals will probably think that PulseX is not a good project. Now, ultimately, does that matter? Well, that remains to be seen. I don't think the negative energy is a positive, if anything else. All that aside, I think the biggest obstacle for PulseChain and PulseX are Ethereum, and that's Ethereum 2.0. No longer is it branded Ethereum 2.0. We can call it the consensus layer or whatever you please. But my point is, what if Ethereum 2.0 gets up and running and delivers as promised? What does that mean for the life of PulseX and PulseChain? And though it's supposed to be compatible and to help Ethereum, will many of the believers adopt it? Certainly if we see that Ethereum is operating at full capacity. That is the biggest question mark about this project, if you ask me. But on the bright side, how long have people been waiting on Ethereum 2.0? So in that case, I would not hold off and wait just due to the fact that Ethereum 2.0 is supposed to be coming, because we will see it when it gets here. And that's whenever that is. Take all those factors, throw them in a blender, mix them together. And what do we get? I actually think in this case, this could be a 100x. The caveat to that is, I think it could be a 100x for those who sacrificed. For those that come later, I'm not so sure about that, and certainly not sure about a 1000x. But for those that were believers from the get, I do think they could stand to benefit in the form of a 100x or higher with this project. That'll remain to be seen. Tell me your thoughts on PulseChain and PulseX. What do you think? Do you think it will 100x, or do you think it'll 1000x? Were you even aware about this project? I just wanted to shed some light on it today. Toss me a like, leave me a comment. It's great for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe and hit the bell for notification. And if you like today's content, then you should check out some of my other videos. For example, check out Cardano ISPOs right here. And remember, tomorrow's wealth is built today.